Hey everybody, it's Chuck. Welcome back. Well, I am joining a cloverleaf and the cameras are rolling right as I join the interstate, and this is going to be a dedicated end-to-end highway video on FSD Supervised 12.5.6. A lot of people have asked for this. I made a video yesterday for my first impressions that had a really good section of highway in it, and we really started to dive into this mode, but I think there's just a lot of questions about how these new speed profiles work, about how the new speed setting works, and I figured I would just jump on the interstate, join Interstate 295, and then join Interstate 95 for some highway testing, and we'll see how this goes. So it looks like we got some rush hour traffic here, and here we are finishing the cloverleaf, and we're just very seamlessly and early joining this lane. That would be my first highlight clip right there. It did not go all the way down to the end and then join. It found a spot and then joined early. To me, that is definitely an indication of this earlier and more natural lane changes. It just always scared me when it ran all the way to the end at high speed and then forced itself over. I know there's a lot of kind of traffic theory that you need to use the full merge lane, and I actually agree with that in most scenarios. But in that same scenario, I think you also need to merge over and take advantage of opportunities when they exist. And also it does create some queuing anger for people that are trained to get in line and wait. I don't know how you fix that, but it's just a scenario. I will comment here that I am kind of going directly into the morning sun, and we are in stop and go traffic. So I'm going to go ahead and start this video in standard with the regular 40% offset. Let's just jump over to the controls real quick while we're here. So here are the three profiles. You have chill, you have standard, and you have hurry. And then you have a max speed offset of up to 40%. I don't know, will it go higher than that? Yeah, actually it will. It'll go up to 50%. That is as high as it'll go. And then let me see, and it won't go negative. So you're either 0%, which means right at your speed limit sign, or you're 40 up to 50. And what that means is if you go up and you have a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit sign, and the speed limit sign is shown over here on the left, right now at 65, but I'll use 50 for the math. You know, obviously 10% would be 5 over, right? So 40% would be 20 miles an hour over. So on a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit, you should expect to see 70 miles an hour as your max set, if you leave it in that mode. Now, I think that is pretty straightforward, but recognize this is a max that the auto speed profile can select from. So you are not commanding it to go this max speed any longer like you used to in version 11. It is the maximum being set by the auto speed network, we'll call it. Back when they had Auto Max on the previous version, even 12.5.4, Auto Max was the network selecting the max speed for you. So that is the subtle difference here. So while the default is set by that offset you have in the settings, the right scroll wheel is what changes it. So you see I'm scrolling down, there's 80, there's 75, and it won't go above 85 like we've had in the stack for a while now as the maximum set speed for autopilot. This right controller is what controls this UI up in the upper left-hand part of the screen now. You see it's visualizing the speed profile you're in, whereas previously you had to go into the settings and see it, or if when you change the controls, you could see the setting you were in subsequently after you changed it. So you see if I go over to the right, it goes to hurry. If I go back to the left one, there's standard, and if I go all the way to the left, there's chill. So very easily you can see this in the UI, and to the Tesla AI team watching this video, I really like that UI. I think it's good. I like the color usage, and it does stand out, and the fact that the color matches the blue steering wheel also does kind of give you this sense that they're connected. Right next to the little green dot, now of course the little green dot we've talked about before means that the driver monitoring system using internal camera is active. I mean, it can see my eyes and it's actively working and working straight ahead. Obviously that can disconnect. I do have a supercharger in as the destination, and it looks like that supercharger is you know, about 25 minutes away down Interstate 95. I hope we get out of this traffic, and if not, I'll go a little bit further just so we get some actual highway cruise speeds. But while we're in this traffic, I do think we have a good opportunity to kind of learn maybe what the traffic scenarios are. If I go into, we're in standard now, but I'm going to go ahead and go into the hurry mode. And when I was at the We Robot event last week in LA, several of the engineers came up and talked to me. Gosh, I think I talked to probably 20 of them. I was trying to memorize all of their names and get faces to names and everything, because it's so great to meet them in person. But one of the gentlemen that came up to talk to me, obviously is one of the leaders of the team. His name is Phil Dewan. I follow him on X, as many of you do. He is definitely an integral part of this team, and we talked for a long time about these profiles, and he was very, very curious, you know, what the feedback was, because it had just come out. Unfortunately, I hadn't driven this software by the time I went to the Robot event, because it came out the morning I had to go to the airport. But we had a long conversation about what the intent of these modes were and when they're effective. And I think I showed yesterday, and I showed you again today, these speed profiles are only for end-to-end highway mode, where we are today. So you saw as I came off of the cloverleaf back there at the beginning of the video, this mode wasn't on, and then when I got on the highway, it showed up. And when I exit the highway, or finish the drive, if I do finish this video on the drive, that display will go away. So we have another good indicator of the switch between city streets and highway. Now, this also prompts a rather good question of, wait a minute, I thought this was end-to-end, one net rules them all. And I think that's still a very good question as to what that means. Obviously, what I think it means is that we do have end-to-end on highway, but it's still its own stack, maybe with its own set of rules. And city streets has its own end-to-end, you know, vision in, control out type of network, and it has its own set of rules and perhaps controls and guidance around it. Right, so it might not make sense for there be to have stoplight logic in the highway stack for memory reasons or things like that. That's just a small example that might not have even been a good one, but something to think about. So, you know, the fact that we do have a separate stack, but it is end-to-end, this also could be another iteration here in the 12 series where it's not all one model. It's, you know, kind of separate end-to-end models, and maybe Vision 13 will go. All right, so there's our first change into what I would call the passing lane here in hurry mode. It did stay kind of in that center lane a little bit longer than I thought. When I talked to Phil about what these modes are, he best described them. He said chill mode is, think of them as, you know, you're rushing to an appointment or you're in no hurry. He's like, chill mode is going to get in the slowest lane. It's going to be like the previous minimal lane changes. Now, I drove a little bit yesterday, and I'll say I don't think it was quite like minimal lane changes that I remember, because it actually did a pretty good job changing lanes around a few things, whereas the previous minimal lane changes, it just parked it. I'm going to throw on my rear cameras because it feels like I'm hugging this left line quite a bit here. And I don't know if it was because of that trailer or this upcoming truck, but just kind of a glance there, if you were to say where I am lane centering, I am pretty much over to the left-hand side of this lane. I actually think it's uncomfortable, but looking in the camera, I'm a little bit more comfortable. So I guess just my own perception. And next to this truck, it's going even closer to this. Let's see if right after the truck it goes back over. And it did. Look at that. So that might have been lane centering specifically for that truck, and maybe even the trailer behind it. So nice job there, Tesla. I'm still learning what all this is about, but that looked really, really good. Okay, we got 1.2 miles until we need to merge onto Interstate 95 South. And you can see there's a little bit of traffic here. So I'm in hurry mode, and I'm going to leave it in hurry mode just for the purposes of this, to see how aggressive it is to get in this traffic and to get in the correct lane to merge over. You see over here to the left, we've got some merge lanes ending, and it's choosing to kind of stay in this lane, which I think is a good choice, because if it jumped over in this left lane, it would need to merge back over to the right again soon. So here's 0.6 miles, and let's see when the first time it puts the blinker on. There's 0.5 miles. And now I'm starting to see brake lights for traffic up here that's already slowing for the exit. I would be getting over right about one of these gaps here, because I can see the traffic starting to stack up here, and the slowing traffic would have been where I got over. Okay, so now it feels like we're in asshole mode. Asshole mode is what I call where you have a Tesla with cameras on it continuing past traffic, and it needs to get over. Yeah, this is kind of, I don't know how to solve this. This is still legal. Obviously, finding a gap and getting over is going to be critical. Let's see. It doesn't even have the blinker on. I don't know. Let's see here. Maybe this is because I'm in hurry mode. Honestly, I can give credit to that. Now it's got the blinker on. That would have been a spot behind that truck. Let's see what it does here. Oh, it's gonna get in front of this truck, isn't it? Look at that. Look at that. Well, all right, hurry mode. I'm talking to you. That was a really nice job. Obviously, we all know you can usually get in front of a truck, but we went probably past half a mile of traffic that was in queue to get over here, and good old hurry mode did its job very smoothly. Interestingly, it wasn't cruising by all that traffic with its blinker on. It just kind of was cruising. And then obviously it didn't know it was going to get over. I don't know if what would have done right about here where it needed to get onto this exit ramp to join 95 South here. For those of you that live in Florida, you understand 95 South. It is 3 lanes of traffic in both directions, so 6 lanes total. In some areas it's even wider. And I would call it probably one of the densest traffic areas on the East Coast, kind of in this area at certain times of day. Obviously, I'm not even going to give comparisons to some parts of the world and LA where I was last week. Oh my God, the traffic in LA is just crazy in some areas, especially when there's an accident. But the good thing I think we're going to see here on this video is that this traffic moves pretty good. So what I really want to see, and if you notice I'm looking over my shoulder to understand this merge here and see the cars, and it's, oh, this is exactly what it needs to do. It needs to get in this left lane. It used to never do that. It used to always camp in that right lane until the very end. And those of you that have been watching my videos for a long time and used to watch some of the video recordings I had going down to Orlando, it would stay in this right lane and it would go straight through this, I think it's called a gore section, or if it's not called the gore section, it's the white hash marks where the lane actually ends, and it would not get over. But the blinker's already on, and right at the end of that gore section, it's over. Very, very nice job. Okay, so we're on Interstate 95 South now, and I'd say we got 3 lanes of busy traffic, and I'm expecting hurry mode to not sit here in the right lane. I'm expecting it to work its way over to that left lane, and there's the first one, all the way to the middle section. There's the acceleration boost I feel, bumping up to 69 there, and then I bet it's going to get in this left lane and just stay there. Nope, let's see. It's staying in the center lane for the moment. It's going 72 out of 85. Okay, so what I expected from what Phil told me about it just kind of getting in the left lane and staying there as best it could did not happen right away. We're here at 71. Now granted, we're 71 in what is posted as a 65. Here in a second, the speed limit should be 70. And I think that, you know, it's probably going to stick around this speed if it stays in this lane. I feel like we're constrained by the cars in front of us at the moment. You can definitely see the cars to the left of me are passing me. Yeah, I expected it to get over in hurry mode, but it's okay. I'm fine with it here. I'm guessing if the traffic slowed to a certain point. You see this 70 mile an hour sign over to the right. There's 70. Is the car going to see it? Yep, it switched to 70. And we're going 73, 74, so it's just moving with traffic here in this middle lane. Okay, I'm going to use the, because this could be a long video for me to get as much as I can, I'm going to use a 400x speed up for this video. So those of you that want to see the actual real-time frame rate might need to slow it down to 25%. I'll use that specifically for this video just to kind of shorten it up a little bit, and then I'll just use my commentary for parts where I slow it back down. Okay, so I changed the destination to give us a little bit more mileage. Actually, I guess I need to give it even more than that. But as it slowed down to 70 behind that pickup truck, it essentially got over into the left lane and went around it. So it's going to be interesting to see if it goes back into the right lane or stays in this left lane after it passes this truck in hurry mode. And it's going 76, 77 out of 85. Yeah, it's definitely not getting up to 85. Now my next thing I'm going to look for is, does it get out of the way of traffic approaching from behind? If one of these cars behind me is in a little bit more of a hurry than me, is it going to know to get over? That has been one of the rubs in the past, is that it camps in the left lane and it doesn't get out of the way soon enough for traffic approaching from behind. I know I've definitely seen it get out of the way, but it usually was a very aggressive traffic getting up in the face of the camera on the back rear before it would actually move over. I'm actually very comfortable with this. You know, typically I do 10 over max on this highway. That would be up to 80. Sometimes I'll set a 79, and right now it's got a 76, kind of 77 speed it's using. It feels pretty good. The traffic is a little bit too dense to really say is there ability for traffic to go like in the 90s on here that I would need to get out of the way of. But it's in the left lane, kind of just cruising on down. Nice distance. I don't have any problems with what it's doing. I'd even say this is very, very good. Okay, now there's the first time in hurry mode, it decided to get out of the left lane. I did not expect that. I don't know if that was because of a car that was coming up from behind us. I don't think it was, because there's a van kind of back into my left shoulder now, but it was not aggressively pushing me. And matter of fact, you can even see he got out of the lane and followed behind me now. So hurry mode is definitely not a must go the fastest in the left lane. So they've even got some logic there. I think that is amazingly good. So now I've got a little stretch in front of me where I can accelerate perhaps beyond. Just to show you, I can't speed this up with my thumb wheel, but I definitely can slow it down. So I'm going to just kind of show you, if I come back down to 70, it very quickly slows down to 70. All right, if I go back up to 80, 85, you see it doesn't speed back up to 85. It's working its way back up to its own selected speed very smoothly. It was at 77 before, and you can see it's working its way back up now. It's at 75 in hurry mode in the center lane. So for those of you that have been worried about these speed changes, perhaps in areas where you're in highway mode and it goes from maybe 55 down to 35 in a small town, as long as you're able to select that speed down with the steering knob here, I think that is probably going to be a very good way to more quickly slow down to the speed. So in this center lane here, as we approach this traffic now, I have a feeling in hurry mode, there's a car on my left quarter, I have a feeling we're going to go ahead and get in the left lane and go around it. Just because it seems like the speed that it's selected right now is in the 77 range right now. And now that we're going 74 traffic here in front of us, it feels like if I was in a hurry, there's the blinker and here we go. So very, very natural, I would say, on that maneuver. So this feels really, really good. The next thing I'm going to try, as soon as I get a little bit of distance in front of me with these other cars, is I'm going to show you how the accelerator actually works with regards to the speed and the selected speed to help it go faster. What I've learned so far is if I hit the accelerator to get up into the, let's say, 81, 82 mile an hour speed, that does not select a new maximum inside of the network. It just kind of temporarily brings it up there, and then it's going to slowly degrade back to what looks like 77 is what it's happy with. Another thing I haven't seen yet, and maybe on this video we will get to see some of it, will it change into the middle lane and go around slower traffic that camps into the fast lane where they shouldn't be, specifically in hurry mode. Let's see what happens here. Okay, that truck got out of the way, so now we're in the left lane, and it's staying right here at 77. It's not getting back over to that center lane where it started. Oh, look, there's 78. Okay, so now I'm going to press the accelerator just to kind of show you. Let's say I want to go 84, 83. I'm not going to get a strike here, but if you go over 85, you'll get a strike, just so everybody knows. 85 is the maximum speed you can go. So I'm going to bring it up to 83. I'm holding the accelerator down. I'm going to get it to 84 if I can. Now I've let the accelerator go. And it's actually holding 84 now. Let's see how long it'll hold 84. There's 83. Oh, look, it's getting in the right lane. Very interesting. It's because everything is open up here. That is very human-like. And let me tell you what, my driver's ed instructor back when I was 16 would want me to do that too, as well as my parents who taught me how to drive. Don't camp in the left lane, even if you're in a hurry. So, hey, hurry mode, that was really good. But let's look, we got a long stretch in front of us, and it's degraded down to 82. But I have to say, it's not degrading very fast. This is actually a pretty good solution, guys. If you just want to go a little bit faster, now it's holding it. Now, I don't know if I get slowed down by this traffic up in front of me, if it's going to kind of use 84 as its new and try to really weave around with 84 as its new set speed. But the fact that I'm cruising down Interstate 95, I'm in the middle lane, which is even better, and I'm going the speed that I bumped it up to with my accelerator. That's great. I do want to comment, look up here on the left-hand side. We've got a disabled vehicle. We got some flashing lights. We're already over one lane. Do I see anything, any signage, slow down? Okay. If I have a feeling if we were in the left lane, it would have come over here. It did that with me yesterday. It went around a disabled vehicle very, very smoothly. All right, but look, now we're down to 81 or 82. So it definitely is not a set speed. It's degrading on its own, but slower than I actually expected. And I am actually okay with this. It's not what I want necessarily as far as commanding a speed. And I don't have a suggestion to the Tesla AI team how to make everyone happy on this, because a lot of people want control. But I will just repeat what Phil Dwan told me last week. You know, he quoted, something we've heard Elon say before. All human input is error. Their intent is to not give you control because you're not going to be in the seat on the eventual, proof of concept of where this software is going. So they're working on essentially, unsupervised. That's what this is, the direction of this. They're not working on, well, let's leave controls for the eventual supervised state of some software. They're not planning on that. And here we are, we're still at 81. There was no doubt it was choosing 77, maybe 78 as its speed earlier. But now as we approach this vehicle in front, now we're down to 80. It doesn't look like it's getting this left lane to stay at 83 to 84 that I set manually with the accelerator. Let's kind of see what it does here. I've got some cars approaching from the back left. You can kind of see in the cameras. And now that I'm at this range, it's going to have to slow down for this car in front of me with the camper on it. And now I'm going to be back into the 70s. I'm feeling like as soon as it goes below that 77, 78 range, it's going to put the blinker on to get back in the left in hurry mode. Don't worry, I'm going to get into the standard and the chill modes probably, but I wanted to use this first section of drive with hurry mode just to really understand how aggressive it was going to try to be. Now we're down to 76. It's staying in the lane longer than I thought it would. There's a little bit of a gap back to my left, but if you look in here in the cameras, maybe it's just kind of waiting on a wide open spot instead of being aggressive on getting over. Got one more car, then it's wide open. So it might just be being polite on when it jumps over. So this is the last car on the left side. And now we're down to 75. I imagine the blinker is going to come on right about now. It's wide open in the left, and there it is. That is very, very human-like. And I'll even say the reason it felt human-like is because of the courtesy it gave to those cars before just jumping over. And interestingly, we're back up to 80. 81. Interesting. Previous to this, we were, kind of in the 77 range was its auto set speed. But once I pressed that accelerator up, it did kind of bias it a little bit higher. If it goes all the way up to 84 here, I'm going to be surprised. There's nobody behind me pushing me up. Guys, this is really, really good. I have to just say, the smoothness, the decisions, and the speeds. I'm not as disappointed on this speed control right now as I thought I was going to be, understanding how the modes were working. All right, so now traffic is slowing down in these middle lanes because of these trucks, and let's see what it does here if it gets back in the right lane after it passes these slower vehicles. This guy's getting over. Interesting. He might feel me pushing him up, and I do have someone kind of on my rear. He didn't put his. Okay, let's see. He is going over even behind that truck. I expect the car to stay in this lane and reaccelerate. Wow, look at that. It's not. I'm not getting like a performance kind of a kick, but it went straight up to 80. As soon as he got out of the way. This is, and guys, this is 10 over. This is my comfort zone on speeding on a highway in order to not get a ticket. I don't like driving 85, on a 70. You'll get a ticket occasionally when you're not paying attention, unless you've got Waze up or something that's telling you where the actual speed traps are. But here, look, passing this truck, I am feeling a left bias, but I'm not feeling as an aggressive left bias as we did earlier. If you look in that lower left camera, I'm not all the way up against the paint right now. I'm definitely biasing, but not all the way over. Let's see if it stays in this left lane all the way up here. It feels like it's going to. There's nobody really pushing me on my tail, so I'm not going to get another great example of somebody that wants to go 90. Obviously, if you're going 80, you're not going to get pushed out by a whole lot of people. I would not get over in this middle lane right now because I can see a truck and a trailer up here. They are both mapped. And if you notice in this center section here, this truck and this trailer in the center lane are both marked with that dark gray, which is usually reserved for the lead vehicle, if I'm not mistaken. So that might also be another indication that they are being used for its flow. Previously, those used to be like light blue. They kind of got away with that. Now they're dark gray. You can see the cars over to the other side are not quite as dark. A long time ago, I had somebody that worked inside a Tesla tell me that the highlighted vehicles are vehicles of interest, which is a broad scope of saying it's just something that they're using in their algorithm to determine something with. So it's not a follow me car, it's just a vehicle of interest that's part of the calculation. Maybe they're queuing off of. Yeah, I don't know that I would change any of this, guys. This is relatively good. I mean, if I wanted to kind of be the aggressive driver and kind of get there as fast as I could, I would just disengage FSD and drive manually. But this hurry mode is really, really doing what I would consider the safe FSD supervised method of hurry. And you can even see, okay, that car in front was going to get out of the way. That truck moved over. He turned off his blinker. And let's see, if he does turn back over and get out of the way, I guess, of me, is it going to bump up? There's 75 right now. There's 76. 77, and it's accelerating back up. Is it going to get all the way to 80 like it did before? Doesn't look like it's going to go quite as high, but it definitely accelerated up to a higher set speed. Really, really good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let's see. I might leave the cameras rolling here. I'm going to go ahead and end the trip, and I'm going to go ahead and navigate back to my FSD return location, which obviously many of you watch my first drives. What this is going to do is it's going to create an exit scenario, and you see we just passed that exit, and I didn't hit the blinker. No, I don't know what happened there. I was playing with the screen. Okay, so we've got this exit kind of a next intersection and 5.3 miles. It's going to go ahead and do that. Pay attention to the road, Chuck. All right, I'm paying attention. But I'm going to go ahead and go back to the widescreen so we can kind of see. I've got it kind of taking an exit, doing an interchange, and then rejoining the highway back here. So this is going to be the only section of the this long, what's turning out to be a long drive that is not going to be dedicated to highway. Okay, I've got cars passing me on the right now. That's noteworthy. Even though I'm going to be exiting here in a little bit, I'm stuck in the left lane behind a car going 74. These cars around me are starting to do the going around on the right-hand side thing. So, ooh, what's Tesla going to do here? Hurry mode. What are you going to do? Are you going to just nudge this guy and hope he gets out of the way? Okay, he got out of the way. He put his blinker on, and now we're bumping back up. There's 79. Is it going to go to 80? I've got cars on my tail now. If you look here in the rear, I'm kind of being nudged by cars that want to go much, much faster. So now here's the question. Is the Tesla going to get out of the way of somebody? And it is. Oh my gosh. That is exactly what you needed to do, hurry mode. I'm loving you. This is perfect. Before, it would never get out of the way until the last second with cars that were nudging it from behind. And here we are now. I've got another big truck coming up behind the left. He's accelerating. I'm already going 80, so I don't have a whole lot of headroom to go much faster. These cars are wanting to go 85, maybe a little bit faster, so I jumped into the middle lane. That is exactly what you want to do. That is the definition of a really good piece of work on hurry mode for this end-to-end stack. Nice job, Tesla AI team. You should really be proud of that. I don't know what it took to do that with video clips, but here I am cruising at 81 and 82 now in the middle lane without touching the accelerator. I only touched the accelerator that one time way back there. And if you look, it's not jumping over into this left lane as if that's its default. It sort of knows, hey, I'm able to go the speed I want here in this lane in the middle. Look, I'm up to 84. Oh my God. That makes me think maybe it did set that speed as a bias, and it's just been trying to fight to get back towards it. Wow. Okay, I want to try something, and I hope you guys don't mind. Because I'm exiting in 2 miles, I'm going to go to standard real quick. I'm just going to standard, and I want to see if it lowers that speed. I don't think it did. I mean, we're going 82, but it was going 85. If I go to chill, 81, 80, 79. Okay, I feel the speed is degrading. If I go back to hurry, does it remember 84? Let's see. Look, it's accelerating. Okay, so those speeds do have something to do with the speed it's willing to go. I'm going to go back to chill again. It's got the blinker on now. I may have lost my chance, you know, because we're going to have some more drive on the way back. I'll play with that again after we do this interchange. But that is a very, very good indication that the speeds, the speed profiles is not just about lane changes and minimal lane changes. It also has a little bit to do with the bias on the speed that it's using to select it. And just for purposes, it's down to 76. I'm going back to hurry. Look at that, it's accelerating. No doubt about it. Okay, so going from chill to hurry, just even in that little mode, took it from what, 76? I don't know if it's 75, back up to 78. It's in the perfect lane for this exit here, so I'm in hurry mode in the right lane. Blinkers on, nice. Let's see the decel curve here on this off ramp. Okay, I'm gonna bring this up and we'll just kind of show you. There's what it's gonna do. This is a typical interchange, perhaps a couple lights, getting back on the ramp on the other side. Shouldn't be too difficult. We've done this 1,000 times. If you've ever missed an exit and on ramp, if you got to go back. There's the blinker. We have it's going to be controlled with a light. So if this is the halfway point of this video, and I don't know where this video is going to end because I'm just so excited talking about this stuff, I'm going to keep talking, and I hope I can keep your attention. I've got 41 minutes of film already, and I don't feel like I've been able to fast forward it much for you guys. But those of you that were waiting on the end-to-end, I would be really, really excited for this to go wide. This seems much, much better than the previous version. And end-to-end just feels like butter. Buttery smooth. And, you know, that left lane camping didn't happen once. Okay, let's pay attention to the screen here. Got our left turn arrows. Pay attention to this screen, guys. Some people have noticed some things about the screen on the way the car assets and everything on the lanes are moving and how in reference to each other. Should very quickly go over. We got a yellow arrow. I can see some cars in the distance, but it should roll this no problem. Smooth. Okay. Do you see the steering wheel jerk just a little bit there? That was not perfectly smooth. A couple trucks up here on the on-ramp. Let's see what this acceleration is like. See how it's in max? It does not say hurry anymore. So I'm in city street stack. Let's see, right when it goes into the highway stack. Maybe it's right up here as I get to this gore. And right, not yet, not yet, not yet. There's the blinker. Got a big truck next to me. Changing on, and there it is. It's almost as soon as I got into the lane, it went into the highway stack. I'm in hurry mode, and it's got its blinker going. And now, is it going to remember 84? It's already 77. I know you guys want to see chill and standard, but I'm just so excited that hurry is not this asshole driver staying in the left lane, kind of, you know, not respecting anybody that wanted to go faster. Here I am in the center lane, even passing this car on the left a little bit, and it's not trying to fight its way over. And I really want to know if it's got that 84 bias that I set with my accelerator previously in it. My gut tells me the answer is no, but I don't know. Okay, there's room behind me now. I'll give you guys the cameras again. If it really wanted to get in the left lane, it could, but it doesn't need to. That car in front of me even got out of the way. So it's already up to 80 in the center lane, not really needing to go much faster. It's not like it's committed to getting to a faster speed. All right, as this speed degrades with this vehicle in front of us, I'll bet if it goes below 77, it's going to put its blinker on. And once again, we might get a how aggressive is it to get over, or is it going to be patient and wait on all these cars? I'm looking in my side rear view mirror here, and right about now, there it is. Look at that. Okay, there's 74. Is it going to accelerate into that? And it really did. Look, we're already up to 80. So it didn't kind of slowly accelerate. It jumped in the lane, got immediately with the flow of the traffic. Now that car is pulling away from me up front. So it sort of does have a decision. Is it staying faster than the cars behind it? Is it going to stay in this fast lane? And if it stays in this fast lane, it ought to be keeping up with this car in front. But it's not really doing that at the moment. My 84 seems to be lost a little bit, and it feels like it's using a natural 81. Now, granted, I went to the city stack. I came back into the end-to-end highway stack. So was that pedal bias from before remembered at all? There's no way for us to know what it is. I really wish we could see it in some sort of way, but you know it's behind the screen somewhere in some sort of debug mode. Now it's up to 82. You see the distance in front of me versus behind. This car is much, much closer behind me than the cars in front. And I'm up to 83 though. Damn. I wonder if it'll hit 85 all by itself. I don't think it will. But I have to say, I am impressed. Okay, so I think we've experimented with hurry mode enough. And I want to kind of go into the chill and the standard modes a little bit. And play with that a little bit. So let's just use this use case of I'm no longer in a hurry and I'm going to go back to standard. Okay, so standard is now set. It should have changed the profile. I'm hoping it's not going to just be, and you can see it staying in the left lane. These cars here in the middle, these trucks, it's not jumping right over. But I'm going to guess that it's going to get out of this left lane a little bit sooner than perhaps it would have in hurry mode. We did see it previously get into the center lane in hurry mode. All right, I'm thinking it's going to do it right here. There's a nice wide, there's the blinker. Gosh, you know, the definition of human-like is it does exactly what I'm thinking. And here we are. So now we're in the center lane. I don't know if it's going to go into the right lane or not. And you see that car? So I was kind of holding him back. He wanted to go around me. And once this opened up and I got out of his lane, it's just stood here. And it's not getting back into the left lane after him. It's kind of in this standard speed profile. This is probably where I'm going to live. Okay, up in front of us, do you see what's happening here? We've got this on-ramp from this, from another exit here, and all these cars are joining the traffic. And if you're in that right lane, a lot of times you jump over into this middle lane so you give them room to merge. But you see, they're going much, much slower. And as we approach them, I wonder if it's going to continue to stay in this center lane or if it's going to even go into the left lane to give them even more room. It's probably going to do it based on the speed of these vehicles in front of me and if they slow down. And as I catch up to this car, it feels like I'm going to slow down around 70, maybe even more. So now you saw when it went below 77 in hurry mode, it went over. Let's see how standard mode behaves. I'm now going below the speed limit. Cars behind me are changing lanes. It's pretty tight, so I don't see a gap that I would just jump in, and it doesn't have its blinker on. So it's not, it's like it's waiting to see a gap to turn its blinker on, rather than putting the blinker on to create a gap. You know, a lot of times when I want to get over, I'll turn the blinker on and maybe get somebody. Now here's a little gap. Is it going to take that one? No. I guess it's just happy at 71. That's okay. It's in standard mode. I'm not in hurry mode anymore. There's another gap right there. It could jump over if it wanted. So maybe its bias speed here in standard is not kind of in that 77, 78 range or even 80 range. It's happy at 72. It doesn't have the impulse telling it in standard to get out, go around this traffic. I'm okay with that. If I wanted to go around it, I could either put the blinker on, and just for grins, let's do that. So I'm going to put the blinker on, like we've done in the past, and there we go. It changed lanes right away. So the blinker is still there for you to initiate a lane change that it's not doing on its own. Let's see how quickly in standard mode it gets back. And you see here we are in standard, and it seems to be pretty happy at 76, where in hurry, it was right there in the 80s. There's 77. Okay, so there's nobody behind me pushing me over. And now that I'm clear on the right, I want to see if it wants to get back into that middle lane. I feel like standard mode is not a left lane mode. It's a go around traffic mode, but it's not doing it yet. Oh, there it is. Wow. So it jumped right back in the middle lane in standard mode at 78. Okay, so I got a little bit of a gap here. We're going around a truck. It seems to be happy in the middle lane. I'm going to wait till after this truck, and I'm going to go to chill mode. And I want to know, is it going to get in the right lane in chill mode? Okay, now there's nobody there. So, nope, that was hurry. And there's chill. Oh, look, as soon as I went to chill, the blinker came over to the right. Let's see what it slows down to. Okay, this is really good too. I put myself in the right lane, and look, I've got a disabled truck up here. I see his hazards are on. He's even got some of those triangles out there. You see, I'm seeing it way before the car. Look at that! Tesla, chill mode. Nice job. That's the second time I've seen you go around disabled vehicles intentionally. That is exactly what you need to do. And look at that, blinkers coming back over. Wow. That is exactly right. That's another highlight reel for end-to-end highway. You need to be doing that. And it did it in plenty of time. I could even argue it kind of came back a little bit early because there was a second disabled vehicle, and I don't know if it was honoring that or not. But here I am in chill mode. It seems to be happy around 74, and it seems like standard mode was happy around 75 to 77, and hurry mode was 80. All right, so I'm in chill mode. I'm definitely in the right lane camping. I'm going to go to the left lane with a blinker, and let's just see if it goes over one lane and how long it'll stay there, or is it going to be uncomfortable that it's in the center lane? Is it going to take my input as error and say, no, that's not what you want in chill mode? Looks like it's staying here, guys. But its initial bias was to get in that right lane. Okay, so it looks like I gave it input, and now I'm going to go to standard mode. Let's see if it accelerates a little bit. I'm feeling it accelerate. Accelerate up to 78. Feel that? Listen to me. I'm talking to you like you can feel it. All right, there's hurry mode. Let's see what it does there. Is it going to accelerate even more? Yep. It's going from 78, 79. I feel like it's going to 80. It's just, there's 80. Yep. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to create another scenario here for this on-ramp. So I'm going to go back to chill mode. There's chill. Boom. Blinker on right away, getting in this right lane. But what I did is I put it in the right lane as I'm going over this overpass. On the other side of this overpass is going to be another on-ramp with traffic that needs room. Is the Tesla going to give them room? See how this traffic's starting to stack up here? Right about now, I'd be blinkering over and getting in this middle lane, but I don't know what to say, guys. It is doing what I'm thinking. Are you listening? Maybe you're listening to me. But here I am in chill mode. I didn't change my speed much, but I definitely gave those cars room to merge. Didn't give me any sort of alerts. Didn't tell me what it's doing anymore. It's just doing it. So I'm at 73, 74. I've got 85 set as my max. And I want to see, again, see how this car feels boxed out. He's coming up and he's going around. How aggressive is chill mode going to be to get back in that right lane? That's my next question. Because if it's not that aggressive to get back over there, then chill and standard are pretty close, with the exception of standard doesn't get to that right lane immediately. So in this situation, the car put it in the middle lane because it was giving room to those other vehicles. I didn't put it in this lane with the blinker like I did a few minutes before. So I would expect that it still has a bias of wanting to get in that right lane. But now, is it the speed of 74 it's using to get into that right lane or not? I mean, it's definitely, even in chill mode, choosing to go faster than the speed limit of 70. Yeah, so I'm kind of camping behind a truck here. I'm in chill mode. Minimal lane changes is the definition, maybe. I'll bet if I went to standard and back to chill, it would put the blinker on. but I kind of want to just camp here and see. I feel like hurry mode would be going left. I kind of want to see if chill mode is going to want to go right and slow down back down to 71, 72. You can see I'm even passing this car here on the right just a little bit. There was a flash there on the screen. It might have been pay attention to the road. I'm not sure. It went away very, very quickly. I have to say, I feel like I'm tailgating this truck a little bit. It's a little close. I mean, I don't tailgate trucks because I don't like rocks to get thrown up in my windscreen specifically. Obviously, there's a little bit of a mentality of drafting to get more efficiency from behind a truck. But now I'm down to 69. Oh my gosh, chill mode is going around to the left. Okay, so even in chill mode, it's not just going to camp. This is not minimal lane changes, guys. Minimal lane changes from version 11 before would not go around a slower vehicle. It would adapt that speed all the way down to 45 miles an hour if necessary. Minimal lane changes was minimal lane changes. So it would do exits and it would do some things like that. But there's no doubt I'm still going over the speed limit in chill mode. And it decided once it got down in the 60s to get around that truck. Now look, it's going back over quick though. Unlike hurry mode stayed in that left lane and kept on going. Now, is it going to go all the way to the right lane? It is. It's going all the way back to the right. Guys, they have nailed these profiles for what they are. Chill, standard, and hurry. If you understand what they're doing, I can't complain. This is exactly what I would want the car to do. It's basically thinking for me. And, you know, I haven't touched the steering wheel once. You know, in highway mode, doing anything, I hit the blinker just for a test, but so fascinating how the team did this. I don't know if I were to try to think of a recommendation of what to change. I mean, I know the community wants direct speed control, but if you've got a strategy that is not supporting having direct speed control and you're giving us these speed profiles, guys, these speed profiles are working pretty good, and you've got the accelerator there to change a little bit. Okay, we're slowing down a lot now. So these guys are exiting. I'm not exiting. Is it going to go into the middle lane? There it is. Oh, it's like it's thinking or listening to me. And now that we went around those cars, so that definitely felt like it was speed triggered. So whatever the speed it's got, feels like it's around 70 to 74. It's definitely a range. It's not a hard number because it's not behaving specifically on a number. It's a range. We've got another on-ramp here where traffic's joining. So as a human, I would not get over to that right lane right now because I want that to be reserved for these oncoming cars to be able to join. So here I am in chill mode in the center lane. Going 71, I've got a lead car kind of constraining my speed. Yeah. Oh, okay, look at that. It tapped the brakes, and it's in the right lane. It's going around the car in the center lane that's going slow. And I felt the brake tap. It was like, woo, he's getting too close. And then it turned the right blinker on. So there we go. That's another example. It's using a right lane. So it's biasing towards the right for chill, even if it meant going around slower traffic in the middle. So it's fighting to get to this bias speed based and over in the right lane, but with the same sort of acknowledgments of, you know, it's going around stranded cars. It got over for the highway merge very early. It's exactly what I would want in chill mode. Now, I've spent quite a bit of time here in chill, and I feel like I need to kind of get back into standard a little bit just to see if we can see some nuances. So here comes standard, and there's the blinker right away. I think the blinker came on just as I was switching modes. I'm not sure. So now we got about 11 miles till we get back on 295. We are going to have a little bit more traffic here, probably constraining our speed, but standard mode, it feels like the speed bias was a little bit higher. Remember, in a hurry mode, it was kind of around 79 to 83. In standard mode, it was kind of biasing in the 75 75 to 78 range. We got a truck over here that's disabled. You can see this truck here has got his oversized load flashing. Is it gonna? He was okay. He's in my lane. Did you see that? He crossed the white line to give his buddy who was stranded a little bit of room. This car did not overreact. It didn't even flinch. And he was crossing over the white line. If you didn't see that, back up a little bit. He was crossing the white line, and the standard mode did not even flinch. So here's where I'm starting to lose my voice. I'm talking so much. Here's where the chill mode, I think, would have gone over to the right. Excuse me, to get into the right lane. But here in standard, I think it's going to camp out here. It feels like the standard mode and the hurry mode is the better way to get closer to the max speed you've set. This max is obviously being conditioned. Remember, that 85 is as high as it can go with this offset percentage I've got here. If I don't like that number, I can slow it down. I think if I slowed it down, let's actually see that. If I set 75 as my max, so I went really, really slow to increment it by 1 mile an hour. The standard mode, gosh, excuse me, is not proportionally slowing down to meet a range below that. Does that make sense? So I feel like hurry mode would be using 75 right now. Standard mode is still using 75. And chill mode would probably use 71 like it was before. So it's not like me bumping it down to 75 max created a new buffer for the hurry mode to have, and then standard was going to be below that. Does that make sense? It feels like the speed model has still got its speed, but I'm putting a clipping function on the top of it and treating this as a max. So it's not a sliding scale below the maximum speed. Hopefully that made sense. And if I'm going to bump it, actually, let me leave it at 75 now, just for the purposes of this video, just to kind of see how it behaves. Specifically, I've got a lot of traffic here, and I'm kind of thinking I want to go into hurry mode now with a speed of 75 to see what it biases towards. I've got about 7 miles. It's going to probably start getting in the right lanes at about 5 miles for this interchange on 295. So I'm in hurry mode with a speed of 75 max. I'm going 70. There's a gap here. I would think it's going to try to get over this left lane. There's a little bit of a... Okay, he kind of encroached on me. I'm going to kind of give you my camera view. That truck kind of crept up on me. There's the blinker. Oh, and I got another car came over. Oh, did you see that? That car jumped over, and now, oh, and he waited for me, and it took it. That was a different behavior. It put the blinker on. The car behind me jumped over. Instead of coming over, it waited to see whether or not that car that jumped behind me was going to accelerate. It measured the vector of that car that came over and realized he was not accelerating and letting me get over. And then it jumped over in the left lane. So now I'm in the left lane with a speed of 75 max, whereas before it wanted to go 80, 85. So now you can see I'm backing these cars up in front of me. So I'm going to go back to standard mode while I'm boxed out with this car. So what it ought to perceive is you need to get out of the left lane. So my maximum speed definitely constrained the hurry mode here a little bit. And now it probably should try to get out of this left lane and over to the right, even though it's kind of tight. It doesn't have a big gap there, but it's staying in this left lane in hurry mode. So I guess you've got to be careful if you're in hurry mode that you've got 85 set, because I'm sort of constraining the tool it has to hurry, if that makes sense. and the cars are stacking up behind me a little bit. It feels like I'm passing these cars on the right, and it should try to find its way over when it has a normal sized gap. I have a feeling if I put it in chill mode, it would aggressively get over. But in standard mode, it's just kind of waiting on probably a large gap. There's a large gap here, and it's probably going to fit in there. There's the blinker. Yeah. This is only like my third highway drive with this, and it's like I already know what it should do, or I'm telling it what I think it should do, and it's doing that. All right, so that was a good experiment. So I'm bumping it back up to 85, and we're going to leave it here in standard. And our exit is approaching here in about 4.5 miles. Let's just see if it camps out in this middle lane versus the right lane like chill mode did, especially when constrained. I feel like right now we're right about the speed it wants to be at 74. Yep. Now we're going down to 72. I feel like we're getting a little bit below the speed it wants to go. Is it going to jump into the left lane, or is it just going to be happy with it because it's standard? It's not in a hurry. How much of a deceleration below its set speed that it has in its neural network does it need before it's like, yeah, I got to go around this guy? And or are the gaps to the left helping it make its decision? I think that's also part of it. If it sees a wide open lane, it's taking it. It seems to definitely be constrained by the size of these gaps on the left. Now I'm in a 70, 71. It's not using its blinker to create a hole, is it? A rapidly approaching car. There was a small gap, but he's kind of filling it. It never turned its blinker on. And it feels, I'm looking in my left mirror here because I can see a little bit further back than on that left camera. There's a medium gap. I could go for that. Nope. It's just happy. Didn't want to take it. Okay, 2 more cars, and there's what I would call a large gap to the left. And it's going to be interesting to see if it takes that large gap because it's there. All right, this white car on the left, now it's wide open. But I'm at 71, 72. I don't know. It may just be happy with, I have a feeling it's going to change lanes. Just because I think its bias right now is around 74. Oh, I may be wrong on this one. I wonder if my 2-mile exit is also constraining it, though. You know, on the planner, previously, we used to get these alerts in 2 miles, your lane changed. I have the navigation volume turned down, so it's not talking on top of me. But the planner, right around 2 miles, starts to alert the driver that you've got an exit coming up. And now that I'm inside of that, oh, there's a strong deceleration. What's it going to do now? Okay, there's a big gap to the left. Cars are joining from the right. Guys, it's camping out. It's navigating. It's slowing down. It's not in a hurry because I've got it in standard mode. It's accepting a slower speed, probably because of lane change coming up. So the next question is, I need to be in the right 2 lanes to take this exit here on Interstate 295. And this exit has 1 on-ramp road, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's 2. In any case, there it is. 0.9 miles. Okay, so now look. Now there's room in front of me. Is it going to speed up? But it's still got its blinker on. It wants to go all the way over. Now it's in the exit-only lane. I think the left lane is the one you want to be in. I think it has to change back over to the left lane. I haven't driven this in a few months, so maybe the pattern's changed or I've just forgotten. I think this splits. One of them goes north, one of them goes west. We're going west, if you see here. See how we're taking that left ramp? Let's see how it does it. Ooh, look at it. Now it's changing back over. Okay, it did it. So I don't know why it chose that lane knowing it needed to get into this lane. Maybe that's just human experience. I don't know. But it did it. See how this gore here is coming apart? It could have gotten boxed out. But it had that lane change that it made way back there to prevent getting boxed out if it was aware of the lane it needed to be in to come here. So I'm not exactly sure how to chalk that one up. You know, that's obviously the planner having perfection and local knowledge. You know, those lanes have to be properly mapped way, way back there for the system to even take that into consideration. It would just have to know that way, way ahead of time. And I don't know if that level of detail is on that off-ramp. But local knowledge kind of says this makes it easier because you don't have to merge back in. And during rush hour, sometimes this off-ramp is bumper to bumper. And, you know, you're kind of doing that little jerk mode merge again, you know, if you don't realize what lane you should be in. Okay, I feel like we're constrained by traffic right now. I do have 65 posted to the speed limit. It's kind of giving a little bit of a distance in front of this car. And now, okay, that acceleration is what I thought it needed to do. I didn't want it to slow down too much because you see here, as we join this traffic, you kind of need to be going the flow. So that if you do want to change lanes, it's fairly straightforward. Boom, there's a lane change. Awesome. Now, I have my car set up to use tolls, I believe, and this express lane is eligible, but I don't think it exclusively is going to fight its way over to get to that toll. I believe under navigation, no, see, I do not have avoid tolls selected, so that's fine. You know, obviously during rush hour, if you're willing to pay the toll that they want to use those lanes, that's great. FSD used to fight its way over to that lane, but I think that was before it was actually mapped as a toll. Sitting here in chill mode, going 71 in a 65. So you see that 65, I wonder if that's constraining it down a little bit. All right, with no traffic here on left or right, I'm going to go into hurry mode and see what it does. Speeding up, speeding up. Yep, it's definitely bumping it up. Stayed in the same lane. Didn't feel the need to jump into the left lane. All right, and now I'm going to go from chill, boom. As soon as you go to chill, that blinker comes on. And let's see what it slows down to. 73. So, chill definitely has, now I'm going to go all the way to hurry from chill. Look at that, boom. Get out of the right lane. Get into the, it's going to stay in the middle lane. Yeah, so hurry is not biased to the left lane. Hurry is like, it definitely goes to a faster speed. Gets in the middle lane, chills biases to the right lane. So if I'm in hurry mode and I do a blinker to the right, it takes my command. Let's see how long it'll sit here. See how I've got this traffic coming from the right? It should be like, that was dumb. Why'd you do that? It should want to get over. Look at it. It's getting over. You silly human. Let me drive. Oh, look at that. Now it wants to go all the way to the left lane in hurry mode with the way that traffic merged. Beautiful. Yep. It's doing... Guys, the Tesla team did a good job with these speed modes. It may take some getting used to, but if you spend a lot of time on the highway, I think you're going to like it, or you're going to get used to it, even if you really want actual control. I would not be afraid of this update. I would not hold back on version 11 because you want direct control. It's doing a really, really good job. And I'm looking at my film. I got an hour and 13 minutes of recording for you guys. If you guys are still listening to this video, I want somebody to leave in the comments that I'm still here. I'm not done with this video yet. We've got 4.7 miles till we're off a highway, and I'm still going to be talking. But I'm going to just, for the purposes of this demonstration, let me think about what would be best for this last 4 miles. I'm going to leave it in hurry mode because we've played with chill and standard. I feel like standard is just right, kind of in the middle. I don't think I have a what does chill standard mode like. All I know is hurry mode is willing to get in the left lane. Chill mode is magically going to the right lane immediately. But even when I gave it a command to get over to the right lane, it still would get out of there for traffic and other things. So here we're crossing a bridge coming up, and on the other side of this bridge is about 3 miles long. It needs to be in the right lanes to do this exit here in 3.7 miles. So this is another good example of the planner, the hurry mode kind of fighting each other for the speed they want. You see here I am at 75 with nobody in front of me with this hurry mode of 85. So it's sensing it's not back into the 80s again. Now I could probably tap the accelerator, and I'm going to do that real quick. So I'm just going to quickly tap the accelerator and get up to in the 80s. There's 82. So I've biased it up. Is it going to stay there? I'm going to get it to 83. I'm tapping the accelerator again. There's 83, 84. Okay, so now I'm 84, and I've got an exit in 2 miles on the right side of the highway. I've also, if you notice here, I've got a solid white line on this lane. Look at it holding that speed. It is not quickly degrading down to, you know, some other speed in the 70s. I definitely changed its bias. I think a speed change might also, I wonder if the speed limit signs right here would bump it up and down and change that bias, or if, you know, if the speed limit sign doesn't change, then it uses your input as kind of, I mean, I'm going up a hill. Is that why it's degrading? I don't know. I've got to get, see here I'm inside of 2 miles now. So it's definitely not using a 2 mile get over buffer. Where do you think it's going to do it? Is it looking at these cars? Is it sort of saying, when can I get over? It's thinking before it turns on its blinker. Thinking is not the right word for a neural network, but it's taking it all in. Now I'm down to 79. And I definitely was downhill on that one. So it took that bias off a little bit. So it definitely wasn't the uphill. Now it's going down to 78. You see there's nobody in front of me. These trucks on the right are going a little bit slower. I've even got the sign up here saying exit only. So I've got to get over 2 lanes. There's the blinker. Is it going to cross the white line? No problem. I got to get over 1 more. Is it going to go in front of this trailer or behind it? It's got its blinker on, which tells me he's going behind it. Perfectly. Slowed all the way down to 61 to make that happen. 0.4 miles. That's what I would call, oh, it wants to get over 1 more. I did not, actually, no, you know what? This is the correct lane for its exit to the right here. So unlike that previous off-ramp where it was in the wrong lane for what we're eventually going to do, this is the lane I need to be in to take this right-hand turn up here when we exit highway mode. So I'm glad because these lanes can also box up during traffic. So it fought its way over early versus staying in this lane and then needing to get over. This is a newly painted road here. And this, there's a chance that this isn't in the map data, guys. And if you watch and see all these barrels, it's got to go hard right now. It's got its blinker on. It's got to get over. It's got its, okay, it's crossing these white lines like a boss. Oh, look at it. It knows it needs to get over and it slowed down. Okay. No, actually, it's fine. No, see, I don't even know this traffic pattern. Both of these lanes turn right. But did you notice how much it slowed down there? All right. You can see up here in the upper left-hand display, we are off highway mode. And I've been talking for 1 hour and 17 minutes. And guys, there wasn't as much fast forwarding in that video as I thought. I'm just going to sum up and say that was an amazing drive. I don't know that I would have changed hardly anything in this stack on those modes. That's how I drive. And I'm just going to let this intersection go here and just talk about the highway mode because we're going to finish up here. This is not about city streets. That is how I drive. That, you know, obviously there's a lot of people that are concerned about having direct speed control, but this software is being written for you not to be here. So I'm okay with the direction this is going. If this is the way the robotaxi in V13 is going to handle highway, you knocked it out of the park. Now, I don't know how a consumer is going to set that. Are you going to give me a screen in my robotaxi that has hurry, standard, and chill? Are you going to give me some functionality about rushing? That would be amazing, right? Obviously, setting those biases might be something that a passenger would want. Something to consider. I do think that the hurry mode is a much better word than you used to have for that mode. I believe it was assertive, and aggressive was another one we had for a while. I think we had Mad Max. There was a lot of names we've had for this kind of rapid lane changes. But obviously this is for highway mode, and this is about managing traffic, correct lane usage, blinker usage, getting over, the patience you use with biases, with vehicles slowing down in front of you. Amazing job getting around emergency vehicles early. I would argue that I saw some of those before you turned your blinkers on because I was looking so far down, but you know, you jumped over in plenty of time. That was really, really, really good. If I were to just try to be critical and say, what could you do better? To me, the mapping data, the planning layer is still your hill to climb. And I don't know how you get around it, because for making long-range decisions, you still have to depend on a planner because you can't see it. Obviously, I think we would need some sort of crowdsourced layer that the Teslas are gathering. You know, we still need some sort of Waze mode. And let me tell you, I'm going to make another plug for it here. I still do these type of drives when I'm commuting with Waze on, because there is no better way to know about dangerous objects on the road than using Waze. And let me tell you what, if there's a big old piece of truck tire in the middle of your lane and you're not paying very close attention with your hands on the wheel, and it, you know, comes up, you know, from around a car in front of you, and you take that on your car, there's no time to react. I don't know how the Tesla is going to solve that problem without some crowdsourced layer that is dynamically being updated, both by users through a Waze type of layer or the cars themselves somehow tracking it. You know, if you have the ability of seeing a hazard in the road, you know, 2 miles ahead, and are aware enough to get over into a right lane so you don't have to deal with it, then now you're superhuman, and don't need the reaction time that perhaps your camera range gives you to avoid items in the road. I know you have the ability of swerving a little bit to go around items, but you know, you don't have the ability of changing lanes when you're boxed out to go around items, and you can't hit emergency brake on the highway when you see something that you don't want to hit. Sometimes you just got to roll over some of those larger pieces of tire when they are in the road. The pieces of tire are the most common one for me here. Obviously, anything can fall off of a truck that you need to avoid, but I don't know how you're going to solve that without getting this dynamic layer going. That same dynamic layer, though, can apply to potholes, can apply to speed bumps, can apply to all of these other things, road closed, changes in traffic patterns, and I know you're working on it, but we just haven't heard anything about it in a long time, and we'd love to start to see that. The robotaxi or any unsupervised mode is going to have something along those lines, I think, in order to work. All right, guys, my voice is about dead. I don't know, and here I am at 1 hour and 22 minutes. I hope you guys are still listening to this. If you are, leave a comment below that you made it to the end. 122 is the number I want to hear, even if this is a little bit different than that. If I hear you say 122, I know you made it to this part of the video. Leave a comment below, like and subscribe if you do. Tell your friends about these videos. I really feed off of the energy in the comments, the energy from the engineers at the We Robot event. I do this for you and for me because I feel like you're in the car with me while we're driving. In any case, have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next time.